It's time again for your home for everything CORT. This is the fastest show in sim racing, the CORT Report. This is your one-stop shop for news for the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. And the CORT National Cup Series. And now, the guys who will bring it all to you. David Amboy. Chris Sweat.
Come on, baby, here we go.
John Dragonetti.
Bye, have a great time.
And Julian Medor. Hello and welcome to yet another awesome edition of the CORT Report Fun Time Hour Time Show. I am your host, David Amboys, alongside Chris Sweat.
Dave introduces me first because I'm better.
And John Dragonetti.
I was introduced second because I was incapacitated last week defending
I want to
LeBron.
be introduced third for Dale.
Third
Oh,
for
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing the excitement this week. We are ready to go for another awesome edition of the CORT Report. We got a lot to get to. Pretty exciting races this week in CORT. We got the Trading Paint Series that was at Iowa, first time at a short track, and we're about to review that shortly. But we also have first ever All-Star race in CORT history. That was pretty entertaining. A little bit of controversy in the open, we'll admit. A little bit of controversy, but everything worked out for the most part. Once again, I want to thank Corey Stevens for last-minute broadcast there. That was pretty awesome of him. Pretty cool. And ART, again, with another awesome finish at Kentucky, or at Kansas, I should say. A good finish for them, and we will have that after we review the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. The last of a 4-race stretch on ovals, and Alex Boffley got win number 2 on the season. He finished the stretch the same way he started it, with a win.
Yeah, and he pretty much ran solid all race, so it was really cool to see that. That and the racing, which was like ridiculously awesome. 3 wide, pretty much the last 5 straight laps.
I was definitely surprised with the race at Iowa because you don't really expect that. I mean, it's the first time going to a short track with these cars, and it was surprising. It was a very clean race. I mean, there were some miscalculations by some people, and I'll blame myself for one of them. We'll get to that later. But overall, I think it was a great race.
Yeah, it was a very, very entertaining race, and we're ready to run down the running order. And again, it is brought to you by CORTRacing.com, your home for everything CORT. Alex Boffley with the victory. And, hey, 84 laps led. That was a good job by Boffley. Also a very long race for the Trading Paint Series. And the same amount of distance that the Cup Series ran there. They ran 175 laps. Riley Roush showing up, finishing second.
Disappointing because he thought he could really do more. Thought he had a chance to make a move and get his first win after I stole from last week.
Disappointed with second. Someone should slap him.
Oh,
Hey, you know what? He's got a CORT cart, so he should be happy.
He does. He does have a CORT cart. That's true.
CORT cart.
CORT cart. If we can get a picture of that sent to me, I'll toss it back up on the stream. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Cart is on a cart. Cart is on court, and court is on cart. That's how it works.
Too much.
Cartception.
Courtception. What? What?
What?
Someone play the noise.
Tyler Tucker started third. Tyler Tucker finished third.
Tyler Tucker, the Chicken Man. Great run for the Chicken Man. As long as it stays in the back of his car, I will call him the Chicken Man. He's solid. He's been solid all season. Definitely the man to beat this year. He's always up in the top 3 or in the top 5 every race. unless for an unforeseen circumstance. But that's just a very good, solid run for Tyler Tucker.
Definitely.
And the scary thing is Mike Husby's had a career year this year trying to hang on to that, or trying to hang on to the battle there. And Tyler just keeps finding a way to pull away just every now and then. Points lead is now 14 heading into the off week. Julian started 9th, came home 4th.
He had a solid run. I know he was just trying to be consistent there towards the end. I think he started kind of towards the back after a couple stops, and I think he had a little bit of trouble, but came back and was really strong.
Getting some top 5 victory boots. Julian is just another one of those drivers he's up there. He's always in contention. He's always around at the end. It's just he's putting together solid finishes, but it's just not enough to hang with the top 2.
Yep. And fun fact for those who are not in the know, Julian is not on the show this week because he's getting boots. We're not even joking on that. That's his reasoning. John, 14th to 5th. Pretty good night.
Yeah, it was all luck.
All right, discount your entire performance.
Okay, all right, fine.
John Dragonetti, my race went like crap.
Well, I mean, we had a fast car. We really were probably in the early run top 3 with Buffoli and Roush, but I mean, on the long run, I just couldn't get a handle of the track, so it just kind of faded.
The man who led 66 laps in Monday night's affair, drove the number 6, started on the pole, and came home 6. Mike Husby.
Nobody likes.
Nobody really likes Mike Husby.
I'm still laughing.
Yeah, for those of you watching on the archive, this is why you need to watch the Court Report live, because that went on a tangent.
Somebody said a no word.
Somebody said
There's a running thing with the Court Report live that Dave doesn't like swearing on the Court Report.
Because it adds workload.
Because I at least try to do, and I've been really good the past couple times. Actually, it's been a while since I've done it. Randomly yelling out obscenities and swear words just to make Dave have more work. It's been a while. I had to do it. I can't guarantee it won't happen again, but it's good to be back.
Jesus.
More on him later. Scott Mullen, 17th to 7th. A lot of cars coming from the back to the front, and you'll notice that as we go on further in this field. Scott, number 25, ended up number 7. He's been impressive in his first few runs here in court.
Yeah, it's good for him trying to get experience to get a top 10. And I think, maybe this was his, I can't remember if it was his second or his third start, but either way, that's really good. And that shows some big promise with him.
I said it before. He's going to be a threat. It's a matter of time before he gets 100% comfortable, and he's going to find his way up there and battle for wins. It's only, like I said, it's only his second or third start, and you really can't ask for anything better.
Hey, and he's been really good. And 17th to 7th, battled all night, worked his way patiently through the field, especially at Iowa. It's tough. It was tough to pass there, and he ended up 7th. Tim Silliman, 21st to 8th. Silly man. Connection didn't come into an issue, and he was able to bring it home with a points-paying finish.
And that's good for him, especially after the last couple of weeks having the connection issues. Maybe he can fight back up to where he was before and maybe capture the championship back. That made no sense. Take second place back and win the championship. La, 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 la,
He's gonna have
la.
to dig, quite frankly. I think, and this is his team owner saying this, but I think he finished out of the points a little bit too often, and I think it is gonna bite him in the end. No pun intended, but
In the end.
No, but honestly, I mean, he had a lot of time. I think he went like 4 races in a row right here in the middle of the season where he just finished out of the points. So I'm thinking he's looking for like a top 5, more realistically.
You never know.
I finished 9th in a race that I honestly thought I would not finish in the points, so I'll take that.
Well, you were pretty solid though in practice.
Well, you know, I mean, I think it was a case of just, you know, just adjusting well to the competition around me. A lot of guys were trying to get to the front as quick as possible, but, you know, I just thought, hey, take it easy, and brought home 1 piece and brought home 9th. Sean Brightsman, 10th. Top 10 finish for the Washington-based driver.
Yeah, he was looking for more. He was trying to battle his way back up in the middle of the race. I remember seeing him up as high as, I think, 3rd at one point. But one of the cautions kind of bit him, and I think he had an issue on a pit stop, I believe. And that kind of mired him back a bit. But to get a top 10, that is not bad at all. You can really not complain with that, especially with the competition we have in this series.
Definitely. It's stout. There's a lot of really good drivers in this series, and anytime you can pull off something like that, you can't complain.
Andrew Hayes, 12th, started 12th, finished 11th, kind of stayed, minded his own, and just got points, and got out of Iowa in 1 piece.
I think that was his main goal going in. I'm not sure he was really content with the track or how it handled, well, I guess throughout the week and then into race day.
Kevin Bartelt rounds out the points, 23rd to 12th on the night in the Brant entry.
And he got a little bit of contact, I think, in one part. I think I had a little bit of contact with him one time, and that was my bad. I still take responsibility for that. Sorry. Kind of shot him back, but yeah, points finish. Sorry.
Got the last point in the event. Cody McCorkle, 13th. It's just 1 spot short. 0.3 of a second robbed Cody of a point. A tough break for him in a tough week for McCorkle in court competition.
More on that later.
More on that later, yes. Brian Sullivan, 14th. Started 6th on the night.
Now he's hoping for more, and unfortunately, like a couple of people down here towards the bottom of the list just didn't come together.
Patrick Healy making his, I believe, 2nd start in court. He came home 15th.
You know, definitely not. Probably not the run he wanted. But it's just one of those deals if you're in the back of the pack and you kind of get stuck back there. I mean, he worked his way up 5 spots, which isn't bad, but it was just in the back, more in the back of the field, just hard to pass.
Well, if you look at his finish, or the finish results too, he had 0 incidents, so that's definitely good to just gain more experience, even if it's farther back.
Joseph Cervone, the last car on the lead lap. 16 cars on the lead lap at a short track. That's pretty good for the
Have you ever?
Yes.
Yeah,
Joseph,
probably somewhere else.
probably 16th Street probably gets that. But Cervone comes home 16th.
Yeah, he tried. He was having some trouble also. But to finish on the lead lap, it's still not bad. Unfortunately, out of the points, like we've said. But, he's trying to get back on track.
And speaking of points, a man who, if we were running on Wednesdays, you would say just running around 4 points, but top 12 pay points. Johnny Williams, 17th, 7 laps down, was still running around at the finish.
You have to admire the dedication. Yes, he was out of the points by a lot, and it wasn't really a shot. But that team didn't quit, even though they probably should have. But you know what? If he wants to run out there, he wasn't really in the way. He's managing to keep his car under control, and he's just logging laps.
Yep.
Nobody has anything else to say.
Well, I've been critical of Johnny on this program the past few weeks, but all I'm going to say is top 12 pay points. Top 12 pay points. Jesus Andrade, 7th, finished 18th. 49 laps down, was involved in an incident.
Yeah, and everyone from unfortunately here down got in some kind of trouble. But he didn't let this dampen his week. We'll explain that later.
More on that later. That's the new catchphrase of the court report. More on that later. I want a t-shirt with that. Morgan Murphy, 19th. Started 5th on the night and came home 19th.
No, he just wasn't comfortable. He was good in solo runs and flying laps, but when it came to being around other cars in a race environment, it just wasn't quite comfortable. Unfortunately, got a little bit of an incident and, kind of soured his day.
Yeah, it was, I think we were close to getting to me anyway, so I'll just kind of throw this in here also.
Chris Sweat finished 20th, by the way.
Yeah, in the back. Yeah, it was great. So, it's just one of those deals where, going in and somebody got loose and got up into the wall, and nobody, I just felt, if you let off when it wasn't a caution, you're going to get plowed, you were going to get run over, and, well, it did happen. More or less thinking I should have probably checked up at least a little bit, but I thought I was going to be able to slide underneath him when he was moving up, then ended up plowing into him and then driving over the top of him and sticking him in the fence. Definitely not what I wanted to do. Definitely not the run I wanted because we actually had a really good car. We qualified top half of the field, which was awesome. But it was just crappy circumstance.
Carson Abe, who is not in the server tonight.
Carson, we miss you.
We miss you, Carson. Figure out your password, please. He finished 21st.
He didn't finish last, and he's getting better. Improvement is definitely starting to get there for Carson.
It's becoming apparent.
Use your big words. He's getting more comfortable, and it just takes time. And, I understand the decision to kind of step away and get more practice. There's some times where I kind of need, I kind of need to think about that in some series. I'm not going to explain too much about that, but there's a reason why I wasn't racing last night. But he is getting better, and it's starting to show. He is getting more comfortable around the track. It takes time.
Indubitably.
Scott Olson came home 22nd on the night after qualifying 4th. Looked to be a promising night, but came home 22nd.
No, you can't really say much more, unfortunately. He had a bad run, and the connection issues kind of bit him in the tail.
Yeah, the connection issues for Scott Olson, and Scott came to me the following day and apologized for the outburst that he had in the server, but it was completely understandable, the outburst, but yeah, we did talk it out, and he was rock solid for Wednesday, so that was good to see. And the final top three, or the final two cars in the field, Kyle Young and Will Roberts, were both involved in an incident on lap number 3.
Dale!
Sad face. Oh, hey, yeah, 3, Dale.
Well,
God.
that is the go-to for everything, isn't it?
I love car report.
I love Dale.
All right, taking a look at the point standings in just a second when I get these up on the screen here in a moment. There!
Bam graphics, please.
Tyler Tucker now has a 14-point lead over Mike Husby. Tim Silliman is at an even 100 points on the season. He's 41 back. Scott Olson, 56 back. Will Roberts, 71 back. Andrew Hayes, 76. 81 for Boffley. Odian with 84. Me with 107. And Kyle Young with 109. The Training Pains Championship Series has the week off, but next week they will be at the Silverstone circuit in the UK for the second running of the London Court Trophy.
Yeah, it'll be fun, right?
Yeah, right.
No.
Get some fish and chips.
Yeah, it will be a fine race. I can't do it.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Why? You can visit Hogwarts.
Oh my goodness gracious.
No, we can
No,
see a
it's-
Manchester United game.
I don't like
Chelsea,
flying
Pride,
across the
London.
ocean. I'm scared.
Why your neck is in a twist?
You're not British!
You don't know.
I do know!
You know what's actually kind of funny about Brands Hatch is that it is going to be the unofficial 1-season anniversary of the Court Report. We debuted when we were at Brands Hatch and when we were over in the UK, and now we are going to be coming full circle by heading back to the UK for Silverstone. That'll be pretty exciting.
Yes.
Looking forward to that. In 2 weeks' time. That will be July the 8th, and then we head into the Watkins Glen International for the Grand Prix Americas. That looks pretty good. And then it's Pocono, and then before you know it, we are done with the season finale at Chicago. That should be pretty exciting.
It could only last forever.
Well, we got some exciting news for that, as you might have heard, July 1st, Canada Day for you Canadians, and we know we got Canadians, and just as you Americans call it, Monday, we will be debuting the new schedule for the Court Top 3 series. We'll be looking forward to that. That will be Monday. No word yet if we're going to be doing a Court Report special report. For that, it kind of depends on my work schedule with the new job and all, but if I'm available, we'll be doing a reveal show on Monday, but don't quote me on that.
I'm gonna quote you!
Now, if I do it first.
Now, I don't
me.
know who you're imitating, but why don't we go ahead and take a break? When we come back,
Well
we'll
done.
talk about... Oh, wait, actually, before we go to break, I just remembered, we had a tie in the ART.
Who won?
Who won? Well,
Question mark.
we're legitimately confused. The Court American Racing Tour was at Kansas over the weekend. First time the championship online racing teams go to Kansas. And Alex Boffley and Mike Husby finished in a literal tie. It was a tie.
.000.
You can go ahead and check the results on courtracing.com. They are literally separated by nothing.
And they weren't either.
I don't even know who you award the win to, so technically we're going to go with the data, and the data says Boffley, but there is no interval there, so you could make the argument Husby won.
Why not both? Question mark.
But it brings us to a big question, or not a big question, but just a statement in general. The ART has had two very exciting finishes in two oval events. That's batting 1,000 there.
But it's exciting, and it's fun to watch, so... Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And they'll be at another oval. They'll be at Charlotte as part of the support races for the Independence 500K. Sunday, the ART is in action. Monday's actually dark, but Tuesday, the Can-Am Racing Series Trading Paints Pro Cup Series will be running at Charlotte. Kind of a coincidental tie-in. And then Wednesday, the Independence 500K, 206 laps for the National Cup Series. The ending to Charlotte Court Week at Championship Online Racing Teams. Quickly running down the running order for the ART at Kansas. Boffley with the win, we think. Husby with the win, we think. Will Roberts third. John, you came home fourth. Scott Olson, Andrew Hayes sixth.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but there's somebody banging on our window.
Oh, who's trying to come in here? Oh, hello, sir.
What's this all about?
Ah, Mr. Boots!
You got your
Boots!
boots!
The boots!
I'm locked out of my own damn recording studio.
Well, you went to go buy boots!
Das Boot!
Julian, we were just talking about how the American Racing Tour ended in a literal tie on Sunday.
I wasn't there. Keep
You
talking.
were not there, so I will keep going down I'll restart from the top. Boffley won, Husby second, or first, or second. Will Roberts third, John Dragonetti fourth, Scott Olson fifth, Andrew Hayes sixth, Brian Sullivan seventh, James Gutta eighth, Cody McCorkle ninth, Corey Stevens 10th.
He was angry.
Yes. Tim Silliman 11th, Kevin Bartelt 12th, Riley Roush 13th, Chris Sweat 14th, and Matt Trace.
No, that computer sucks.
Yes. Matt Trace's ART debut. He finished dead last 15th.
Yeah, Matt Trace. Go, Matt Trace. Go, Matt Trace.
The ART heads to Charlotte this upcoming week for the Independence 125, so be sure to take a look out for that. Rumor has it our latest broadcaster, Corey Stevens, might even be broadcasting that one on Sunday, tentatively. If not, it will be on Court Vision, so we can at least rest on that. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we've got two more races to talk about. The Court All-Star Open and the actual main event, the Court National Cup Series All-Star Challenge. You're listening to The Court Report, CourtRacing.com.
This is it. This is what matters. The experience of a product. How will it make someone feel? Will it make life better? Does it deserve to exist? We spend a lot of time on a few great things until every idea we touch enhances each life it touches. You may rarely look at it, but you'll always feel it. This is our signature, and it means everything.
Mike likes bikes and denim shirts and blankets with stripes. So Mike comes to Target, who's making products with feed to give meals to people across America. Mike's bike gets him to Kate's house. His shirt looks great, and his blanket gets him a date. But his blanket also gives 24 meals, his shirt gives 20 meals, and his bike gives 320. So now Sarah gets lunch, a family gets dinner, and lots of people smile. Mike did a great thing, and the people he feeds will too. Thanks, Mike. Enjoy the bike.
Well, I'm rolling on a river just flowing. The horizon's getting bigger. I'm rolling like I'm rolling on a river just flowing. The horizon's getting bigger. Oh, 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 oh. I'm gonna drive.
Stronger than your team, crazier than Kurt Cobain, heavier than Megadeth, cancer in your brain, chasing the dragon, snapping in your face, makes you a banging, echoing ill, one swallow pill, makes you a madness. Stronger than your team, crazier than Kurt Cobain, heavier than Megadeth, cancer in your brain, chasing the dragon, snapping in your face, makes you a banging, echoing ill, one swallow pill, makes you a madness.
The satanic, Mephisto rap, aristocrat, a butchery, malevolent, Monica murder, just kicking back, lounge in the 4-pound packing scoundrel, gorehound, clapping your
Welcome back.
Court
Report, CourtRacing.com. Getting ready for that holiday week. It's going to be great. Monday, Canada Day. Thursday, 4th of July.
America Day.
America
Mark.
Day. America Day for you Americans in court. Chris Sweat, John Dragonetti, Julian Medor now in the building with boots.
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 Let me tell you all about these boots.
Boots. And a chair.
And a chair. And for the grand finale, Baseball glove.
What? Why do you have a baseball glove?
Because I haven't had a baseball glove in a long time. So I bought a baseball glove.
You bought a baseball glove.
Yeah, because I want to start maybe getting back into baseball. I used to play baseball when I was a kid.
Oh,
Julian, you need to find yourself a beer league, softball league. It's a lot more fun.
Burr.
Beer?
Burr.
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 15 seconds.
Ah.
There's two.
So you got a baseball glove.
You get a baseball glove.
You got a baseball glove. All right. Well, I don't know how we're gonna transition into the Court National Cup Series All-Star event from a baseball glove.
Do you have time?
Let's get you caught up on the Court Racing All-Star event.
Oh.
Horrible pun.
I went there.
Terrible pun.
Jesus.
You know what baseball has? Baseball has all-star games. You know what also is all-stars? The all-star of the all-star.
Oh, speaking of all-star, I went to a pawn shop today, and they had not one, but two Jeff Burton diecasts for the NBA All-Star game on TNT.
Oh,
I should have bought it for Hayes.
Goodness gracious. That was 2004 when he ran that at Daytona. That was the year where Jeff Burton just ran like 80 unsponsored cars.
Yeah, basically.
It was after Sitgo, and I couldn't find sponsorship for him, and it sucked.
Yeah, and then
Get
he was
sponsored
like,
by the broadcaster.
Yeah. Yeah. Not even the broadcaster, the affiliate to the broadcaster that didn't even broadcast the 500. All-Star race. Jesus Andrade comes in. He won Richmond last year to qualify. He won Richmond again this year. Came in, and him and Brightsman were 1 and 2 the entire day, and Jesus was able to make something last there at the end. He took home the bragging rights for the Court All-Star Challenge.
He was lightning quick throughout the entire race, basically. He started in 7th and just shot up like it was nothing and was able to hold off Brightsman the entire time. He was just stout. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it was interesting kind of back in the pack watching those two go at it. It's good racing. It's good to see that. I know, like, some races this season have been total like domination by certain people, and it's good to actually see some side-by-side racing for the lead. It was pretty fun to watch and be a part of, because we had some good racing back in the pack too.
Yeah, and we're going to quickly go through the running order. It was a non-points event, so no one scored points. Julian, you still hang on to the points lead by the same amount that you did before, obviously. With
it was a good, consistent week.
Yes.
Yep.
No one gained. No one lost. But you had a rough night, though, but were able to come back fourth, so a good run for you. Jesus with the win. Mike Husby finished second. Scott Olson came home third after transferring through the Open. Julian Medor fourth. Steve Lovender fifth after losing his front end at one point in the event. James Gutta sixth. Sean Brightsman, who made a last-ditch attempt to try and take home the victory, but came up just a little bit short, came home 7th. Tim Silliman 8th. Kyle Young, who transferred in through the Open, 9th. Dakota Ehrman 10th. John Dragonetti 11th. And Pete Engelmanis 12th. By the way, the third car that transferred through was James Gutta. Yeah, very interesting race. Brightsman led all but one lap in the final segment. And Jesus won the second segment, so it was 1-1, and Jesus was able to win the rubber match. And man, that Nesquik car was fast.
Yeah, like I said before, he was lightning quick all race, but it just seemed like on longer runs he must have conserved his tires or had the right line just that much more down than Brightsman did, because he was just able to pull away and either maintain or grow the gap on him.
Yeah, as Jesus got the win, and it'll be interesting to see if he decides to stick around for the Independence 500K next week. 206 laps at Charlotte. What's going to be the keys, guys?
Not having...
Staying alive.
Stay alive, stay alive.
Very musical edition of the Court Report this week.
It's like they said, staying alive for the most part. It's a very easy track to get out of your rhythm, and once you're out of your rhythm, it's very easy to get into the wall or get loose going into the corner. It's a very rhythm-based track. One mistake can really mess you up, can put you out on the high side, have you falling back in the pack, or like I said, into the wall. We saw a lot of people get into the wall and then come down the track. It happened a couple times in the open. I think it happened a few times in the main event as well. So,
yeah, mental strength is probably of the utmost importance, and if you lose concentration for 1 second, you're done. You are done.
Yeah, and with the race distance being an extra 6 laps than last season's, at the time, Coke Zero 300, the Independence 500K is, we're trying to build it, if you couldn't tell, as being one of our premier events of the entire court schedule. A full 200-plus lap race at Charlotte is something that we really want to build as a cornerstone to the later part of the seasons to come.
kind of like the third race in the unofficial stock car Triple Crown, pretty much.
Yeah, you could say that. We go to Daytona every season to kick off the season, and we head to Indianapolis as well. So you could consider Charlotte the third leg of the unofficial stock car Triple Crown, which leads us to a very exciting discussion that we're about to have here on the Court Report. We're about to talk about next season's schedules as we get ready to get that going. And one of the exciting things, as we give you a sneak preview as to what is on the schedule next season, is the National Cup Series is going to have multiple super speedway events. Not just Daytona and Talladega, but a second trip to Daytona later on in the season, tentatively scheduled for January 8th of the new year. It will be the Ice Cracker 250 under the lights at Daytona.
Should be fun. It's going to be kind of cool to have both a day and night Daytona race. And it'd be cool to go to a track more than once in a season, because all of our other tracks are once a season, so.
Yeah, I think this will actually be the first time we do that, right?
Kind of makes Daytona all that more special.
Yep. Also, a special event on October 9th. We head back to New Hampshire for the CORT New England 126, going the extra mile for breast cancer awareness, so that'll be a fun event there at the Magic Mile in New Hampshire. Retro Week will be returning to the National Cup Series. This time at a different historic venue. We head to the Darlington Raceway for the first time in court history. We will be going there for the Pepsi Southern 400K at Darlington. That will be Retro Week, and that will be October 30th.
Just had an idea.
Oh, yeah?
The Pepsi Throwback 500K.
There we go. That's the
Just
new
went
name.
there.
That's the new name. That's the name right there. I got to redo the logo, but I don't even give a crap because that's a better name. Also, we'll move on to the Training Paints schedule and the ART schedule here in just a few moments, but we're going north of the border again. The CORT National Cup Series is tentatively scheduled to head to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Tim Hortons 200 présenté par l'équipeur.
Very exciting. It's going to be cool to see us go back to Canada again, and not just to go back to Canada, but to do it in a stock car. I believe open wheel racing is known for its roots in international racing, so it's kind of neat to see us do that in a stock car. On a side note, with new tracks coming into play, did anybody see any of that video today of Bathurst?
Yeah, iRacing TV released a small little preview of Bathurst. Didn't have any of the textures or anything to it, but it did have the kind of like the tech track look that they are rumored to launch next season, our next build with Long Beach. So that's actually pretty exciting. Speaking of Long Beach, sadly, right now it is not on the provisional schedule for the Trading Paints Championship Series, but there are some pretty cool tracks that are going to be added to the schedule. Actually, just one swap on the schedule. Phoenix will be leaving the series, but we head to Interlagos for the first time. We did a test race there before this current season, and it went over well. So we're looking forward to going there. That will be the Electrobras Grand Primo do Brasil, and that will be on December 16th. That's a fun little road course.
It is. We did a preseason test there last year. That was very entertaining. Other than the terrible crash I suffered.
Also, those of you who were on the bubble at Bump Day last season will be glad to know that we have officially added another hour to Bump Day next season. It will be a 3-hour session at Indianapolis that night, and that is tentatively scheduled for September 23rd, and then, of course, the Indianapolis 250 will be September 30th next season, the 5th Indianapolis 250. A long stretch of the season sees us go to 9 races in a row in 9 weeks, beginning with Road America and ending with the Christmas break. And the final race before that is Interlagos, as we said. Sonoma will return to the schedule. Kansas joins the fray this season in all 3 CNCS, TPCS, and ART seasons, so that will be exciting to see. And a track that makes its return is Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca will be returning to the Trading Paints Series schedule on January 13th. And that will be the penultimate round of the season.
It's gonna be a good season.
Nobody else is gonna voice on this.
As we saw, John had to step away there for a minute. Had a business call to take.
Yeah, he had a business call. Yes.
He had to go get some.
He had a business call.
Yeah.
This business.
I think both schedules. I think people are going to be happy with both schedules. They're really well constructed. A lot of time went into constructing those schedules. They weren't just thrown together in a matter of minutes. We spent the better half of maybe close to 2 months working on those schedules.
Yeah, it was a long process, and fortunately, we've come up with a pretty good schedule that I think a lot of people will like. The ART schedule is still kind of a work in progress. Will Roberts, the main admin of that series, but some quick specifics that we could say. Short track will be on the schedule that season. That's tentatively scheduled for December 15th. The series will also be heading to Watkins Glen again, but they'll be running the Classic Boot, and that is scheduled for November 10th. And also, they will be running the road course at Indianapolis the week before the Freedom 100. That is scheduled for September 22nd. ART's got some interesting dates on it.
It's a fun little series.
Oh, it has definitely gained a following at CORT, and we look forward to seeing what it will bring in the next few weeks. Yeah, so we're stalling for time here. We're wondering what's going on, but yeah, it's been a pretty hectic few weeks here in CORT, and it's only going to get better because not only is the schedule being released Monday, July 1st, but the Thursday, July 4th, will be the official sign-ups going up for all 3 series. America. We have one thing on Canada. We have one thing on America. The way that's going to work is this. Basically, if you look at the sign-up threads on CORTRacing.com's forums, that is locked in. I'm going to lock those threads as soon as the CORT report is done recording. And what will happen is on July 4th, at some time during the day, I haven't figured it out yet, but it will be a reasonable time when everyone is on. We're going to copy those threads and post our next season stuff. So everyone who currently has a sponsor or a number or a team, you don't have to worry about losing your sponsor or anything. It will be locked in. If you choose to make changes for next season, you can post on the thread and we'll adjust it accordingly.
I just want to, I know we're kind of stalling for time, something that didn't get mentioned, and I want us to completely ignore the controversial side to it, but I want to give a shout out to Kyle Young and Cody McCorkle. That was probably one of the most interesting things to watch all season. That little battle they had the last 5 laps.
That was entertaining to watch. Yes, it was.
And those are 2 guys that, don't get mentioned all that much, and if that had been for the win, that would have been probably the finish of the season.
Yeah, and they've had some good finishes to contend with. I mean, you just think of Indianapolis in the Train Paint Series. You think of the 2 ART Oval finishes that we have. It would be right up there. Would definitely be right up there. Will Roberts holding off the field at Homestead to kick off the year. That also some good finishes that would have had to competed with if it were for Indy for the win. So, hey, props to Cody and props to Kyle. That was a fun battle to watch, especially when I was watching from the admin stand at the end of that one.
Well, I believe I told you this last night. I was spotting for Corey Stevens, and I told him with about 5 to go, I was like, man, you're kind of out in front. I don't think you're going to be able to catch Scott Olson. If you need me, yell at me, but I think I'm going to be back here watching these 2 guys because this is getting really entertaining.
Okay, I'm going to touch on this announcement that was teased on the Facebook page and all that, and I think it's an announcement that needs to be made. As you may have known, I started a new job the past few weeks, and it's getting to the point where I might be working evenings. Yeah, during the week. So I think you guys could see where this is leading to. The Court Report Live, as we know it, might not be a thing as soon as next week. With the new job, they want me to work 2 to 10, and I had to declare 2 nights of ineligibility, like just to say, hey, I don't want to work these nights. And obviously, this is the lowest fiddle, as we all know. So I picked Mondays and Wednesdays, naturally being league nights. So it might not. Who knows? This could be complete BS, and I could be back here next week. You never know. But for now, this might be the last CRL Court Report Live, and but that doesn't mean that we're not done doing court reports. That does not mean that we're not done doing court reports. It might sound completely different. It might have different people on it than you would normally expect. I might not even be on some of them. But with my new job, there is definitely a chance that I will not be at these recordings anymore. So, yeah. In short, I'm taking my ball and going home. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just a case where, real life trumps this, unfortunately, at the end of the day. So, paper funds the league, and if I don't get that paper, then we don't have league. So, yeah, that it means that basically we'll still have court reports, even if they're shorter and rushed, and I record them by myself at like 2 in the morning. But we will indeed have court reports. It's just a case of we might not be having them on the Twitch stream anymore, sadly, which sucks because it adds so much to the atmosphere of the show. I mean, to be able to interact with people like Carson and Jim and Cordy Stevens every week, it's awesome. But it might be a case where, sadly, it's just not going to match up.
It's sad.
Sad. We'll get something figured out.
Yes.
Because This has been the most fun I've had doing the core report. It's been a lot more fun than just recording it in a silent studio.
Oh yeah, definitely the court report live it's kind of brought back vitality to this because we can only do so much before we all run out of steam for it. And having a live thing is fun. It's fun to interact with the people, and it sucks. It's gonna miss it.
Yeah, but we're all technologically savvy people here. We all kind of can figure it out. I think all of us here have messed around with XSplit at some point. So, yeah, it is a very exciting thing. Dakota Ehrman just poked me and said, I need to tune into ETV right now because they are playing the cowboy bit that has been viral around the ETV circles the past week. On air right now, I guess. What the heck? Okay, for those of you who don't know, screw it. Well, why don't we just go ahead and explain it? ETV has, me and ETV, quite frankly, have not really gotten along. I'm just gonna go out and publicly say it. I'm not happy with some of the way that they kind of do business, but they have the cowboy guy. I can't remember his name, but anyways, the cowboy guy has that distinctive voice, and I can kind of do an impression of him. But I did a recording over in the Can-Am TeamSpeak, and Jimmy North, who I believe runs RSR, Real Sim Racing, decided to send a recording of that to the guys over at ETV. And ETV, I guess, are currently playing a edited version of it with cowboy noises. Here, I have the recording here. I'm just going to plop it in here in post.
Alright, and we're back with ETV Live Racing, and we have the big man of the show, ET Live's voice.
That's right. That's right, cowboy. Welcome back to ETV Live. We are back after watching that E-play of the Can-Am Racing Series, ladies and gentlemen. They run on Sundays and Tuesdays, cowboy. They got some good racing right here. They got the Emerald for Zines, Late Mile Tour, and the Champagne's Pro Cup Series. Let me tell you something. These cowboys are some of the most talented drivers on the Eastern Seaboard. A bunch of really good drivers. There's some that aren't on the Eastern Seaboard, so we kind of neglect those people, but they're still pretty good, cowboy.
You refer to me as a cowboy. Do you like cowboys?
Well, I may be a fan of cowboy, but you know what? That's just what I say. You know, it's like when you come down pit road, you get 4 shoes and some oats, and you're out to go there, cowboy. Then sometime when you have a bad night, you get an e-ticket night, do an e-ticket ride, do an e-ticket car. And cowboys' nut butts drive me nuts.
Duck butts drive you nuts.
Duck butts. Sometimes I go to Bass Pro Shops and I see the big stuffed ducks hanging on the side of the staircase and I go crazy.
Ooh, I'm getting all jittery.
Hold on, cowboy. That's right, cowboy. Cowboy.
Oh my god, dude.
So, that's what played on ETV just now, and needless to say, Ehrman had thought that was worth poking me during the show. We are running out of steam and we're all waiting on John. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just call it a night? John Dragonetti's final thoughts are this. We had a good core report. It was really good. I am John Dragonetti. I am John Dragonetti. Chris Sweat, your final thoughts.
What?
Your final thoughts.
Final thoughts are, I do believe we should do what I said we should do, but you don't like.
Well, if there's a demand for it, then...
Oh, there's a demand.
If there's a demand for it, then it's going to be tough to say no. quite frankly.
What?
You'll know.
Tell me once we're out here.
All right. Julian, your final thoughts?
Been a interesting week.
Boots!
Boots. I got boots. I got chair. I got glove.
Quickly, I just want to send a quick get well soon to the people out in Calgary and surrounding areas there who have been dealing with floods. I don't know if any of you Americans have seen the pictures that are coming out of Calgary, but it's almost New Orleans-like. And believe it or not, they're going to try and host the Calgary Stampede next week, so props on them. But, man, Calgary is under a lot of water. And the arena where the Calgary Flames NHL team played was up to the 9th row of water of the lower bowl. That's a lot of water.
Oh, I gotta send my thoughts out to them as well. But on a side note, I went scouring the internet this morning, and there was not a mention of it on NBC News or CNN's website. So for such a crisis, it's kind of ridiculous that it's not really getting the media, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand.
Because without the media attention, you don't, like, some of the help that can be sent in from other places doesn't get there.
Yeah, but yeah, thoughts and prayers. Luckily, a lot of people evacuated. It doesn't appear as if there are any fatalities, but a lot of people's homes, businesses, and such have just been devastated in Calgary, and it's sad to see.
I think there was 2 to 3 last week, fatalities, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. But yeah, our prayers go out to those of you affected in Calgary. Chances are that's no one listening to this, but nonetheless, thoughts and prayers for those in Calgary, and yeah.
Where's the CFL team playing? Because their season's starting up.
Yeah, they play in CFL Stadium.
Yep.
Yep, CFL Stadium. That's where all the Canadian teams play. The Rough Riders are laying it to the Rough Riders today. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you very much for watching the Court Report. Hopefully there's one next week. Maybe it's just a short one. Maybe it's one that I record at 3 in the morning. Not high, because I don't do drugs. Yeah. So that's going to do it for us here on the Court Report. Kind of stumbling to the end. John Dragonetti says, I'm John Dragonetti. And we will see you guys next week, maybe. If not, it might be a completely different cast. What's so funny, Julian?
Just all this. Good night, guys.
Good night, folks.
Bye.
Have a great time.